Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Shilpa Data Insights. In the last video, I've shown you exactly how to create a Spotify account for developers and how to create an client ID and the client secret. You can go to your account and check your dashboard, and also you can click on this and go to your settings option on the right side and see your client ID and client secret if you don't have the handy. Then the next step that comes up is to create an access token in order to get the details from the Spotify API. So to get the access of your access token, you can go ahead and check out this particular website for the Spotify for developers, in which they have explained you how to exactly get it from your tokens. So from the authorization code, they have explained you what type of authorization you will be needing in order to get the access token. So the authorization is nothing but just a username and password you will be needing it. Okay, so for that you will need some more details like what is your authorization type, what is your code, what is the header, what is the parameter. I will explain each and everything in this particular video, so stay tuned, follow this, and it will help you in creating your access token and get your artist details. So I have my DataBricks account and I have it attached to my cluster. Now either you can use a curl, so if you use a curl it will just show you your access token directly, or if you want to store your access token somewhere, you can use a Python command. So first of all, you can go ahead and import some JSON. You can import the other modules like request. In the request, I just need post and get. So I have imported that. And I have also imported the base 64. Then we have this client ID and client secret. From where am I getting this? I'm getting this from my app itself, the Spotify developer app. So if I go to the settings and show you, this is my client ID. And if you click on this view client secret, it will show you your secret as well. So let's go back. Now in this, I have created a function called token. In this, I have my authorization string. So why you need this authorization string? So you have to first create a URL and you have to hit that URL and get your authorization code. So the URL that Spotify provides is this. That is accounts.spotify.com/API/token. From where will you get this URL? You will get this URL if you go to the documentation itself. They have this example, very wonderfully explained example, but this is not a Python code. This is a JavaScript code that they have explained in. So this is the URL that you need to go to, and this is the token. So what else you need apart from the URL? You need few more things. The first thing that you need in the body parameter is your grant type. Grant type could be a client credential. If you are using a client credential like the one in our case, we have a client ID and client secret. So use the grant type as the client credential. Then you will use some kind of a code, the authorization code that is returned from the previous request if required. Or if you want to redirect the URL to a different URL, then you can put that URL itself. And we have this authorization. This is very important. You have to provide the authorization in the base 64 encoded string format. What does this mean? So there are different encoding options that are available, right? So this particular API will only need the base 64 encoded string, and the string will be client ID is the key and the client secret is the value. So it will be client ID colon client secret. Then you have to convert this into the base 64 and pass it to the authorization. Remember, this is a required parameter. Then you have the content type. In this content type, you have to pass or set it to your application form URL encoded. So let's go back to DataBricks and let me show you. This is my URL. Now in the authorization, I have to pass my encoded string. How will you get this encoded string? First of all, I'm just appending the key as my client ID and colon the client secret as my value. This is my string. I'm converting it into a bytes into a UTF format 8, and then using the help of this B64 encode functionality of base 64 that you import, you can convert it into base 64. Once you have this base 64 authorization code, you can pass it into the authorization value. But remember, you have to append basic and then a space and then your authorization base 64 code. Don't forget to provide this space, otherwise it will not going to work. Then you have your content type. In the content type, you have your application form URL encoded. The next thing that the URL, when you are hitting the URL in the API, you will need the grant type as we discussed. That is your parameter and this is your header. So the grant type that we are providing is my client credential. So my result will be something like this. I'm giving a post command, passing the parameter as URL, the header and the data. Once I have my result, this will be in a JSON format. So you have to go ahead and read this JSON file. This JSON, using the JSON.loads, you can convert the JSON to a Python dictionary. Why we are doing that is because with the help of the Python functionality, we need to access some data from it. So in this case, I will be needing my access token. So I have created a JSON result. In the JSON result, I'm providing my access token as the key to get my token in my value and returning the token. And I'm running this command, this particular function, in order to generate the token. So I have run this function, if you will see, and I'm printing the token is generated. It's like an alphanumeric character with a lot of characters into it. So you don't have to go ahead and remember this, right? You have to generate it. If in case it expires, there is a limit of expiration for this, you have to regenerate the token again or refresh the token again. Now, the next thing that comes up is your authorization header. So I have created another function called getAuthHeader and I am passing the token into it. So it will return something like authorization with a bearer and the token. Now, let's go ahead and see how I can go ahead and get my artist data. So if you will go back to your documentation, what I was referring to, I want to search an artist by its name. Okay, so this is my search for item. In this search for item, this is the URL that you need to hit, the endpoint, and in the search, you want to search an artist. So if you know the artist name, you can go ahead and search it. So there are some artist name that Spotify is providing by default as an example that you can give it a try. For example, in our case here, it's like ABC, right? So this is what you can use in order to test it. If you know the artist, you just put it and you can get the result out of it. Now let's go back. So this is my URL. You got this point? Now it's very simple. The same thing in the URL, you also have to pass the header and you have to complete the query with the help of the artist name. So this is our base URL and I have my header. The header I am getting it by passing the token into my this function. What it will do is it will give me the result as authorization header and my bearer plus token. Okay, I'm just running this function. Now, the next thing that comes is my query. So in this query, I am passing my artist name. So how you pass a string in your query, you know it, you parameterize it, right? So you have to just parameterize that artist name because I have my artist name in the function so that I can call this function multiple times. And I have made this as a modularized way to do it. So next is I'm passing the header here. So once you have the result, you just pass the result and I want to get the content out of it. What is the content? So in the JSON.loads, I'm passing the content and I'm storing it into my JSON result and printing the JSON result. You can also return the JSON result. I just want to show you. So I just did a print on that. Now I will be running this particular function with this particular token AB. Okay. So now if you will see, I have a limit here for a particular thing, that is limit 1 for this artist type. So it will just give me one record, but if you will see, there's a lot of data even for particular one record that we have. So if I go up, here is my artist, this is my reference, items, Spotify, whatever details you want to know from here, you can go ahead and read this particular JSON and extract the value out of it. You can create a data frame and do all the steps. I hope you have learned exactly how to create a token from my previous video and how to access the token in this video using the client ID and the client secret. In the next video, we will also see how to exactly get different objects from the Spotify API, and we will do some analysis on the top of it. And there's another way also to do this process. So check out my next video as well for that. I hope you have learned something new regarding how to create a Spotify account and how to access the access token. Thank you so much. And if you have liked the video, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you have a good day.